kicks off next on Match 5.
Gets alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. And Charles, we look at the club as they interplay here. The losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visitors, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4. Set to go now in week 6. And we are underway. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. So here for their opening drive. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
Holding offense.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Off the play fake, rushing, and he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack. Now a handoff up the middle. Levy, and they'll get him down right around the 11-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. Back to throw. Rushing. Throw left side complete. That's Flowers. And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line. Call it a loss of 2 there on the play. And it'll be 4th down.
Now that was well defended. And as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return. And it will be ball. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
And they are in rhythm on offense because of him. I mean, right now he's got everything going the way he wants to, finding the receivers the way he wants to, looking over defenses. No interceptions is the number I lock in on. Before a touchdown pass isn't so bad either.
Yeah, what a game he had last week. A broken tackle on the run, and then just on the other side of midfield, they get to it. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 24 carries, 138 yards, and a touchdown.
Just an excellent performance from them on the ground last week, and that speaks to an offense that is operating at a high level on all fronts. Of course, that man running the ball, he's just seeing the field so well. But don't forget about his offensive line. They've really asserted their will out there and are confident they can repeat it again this week.
And Charles, we see some of the injuries that have popped up for this franchise and obviously hoping to get the field in a hurry.
Brandon, I'm going to go ahead and age myself, but I'm going to ask you, when you were in high school and there were injuries, did you hear a next man up from your coaches?
Well, you hear it every week now. Oh, that's for sure.
You know, back when I played, when dinosaurs roamed the earth, you didn't hear next man up. You heard, oh, no, we've got to put in Davis.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Moore now. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. Now Moore. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown. A great effort there. His second touchdown on the season. And up on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Well, you've got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score. And now, of course, all scoring plays are reviewed, and I think they're going to take an extra long look at this one. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Extra point right down the middle, and that makes the score 7-0. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And to cap it off. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This taken in right around the goal line. And that's pretty good coverage by the kick team, as he'll only be able to get this past the 15-yard line and no further. And so their quarterback coming out for their second drive. And he's been very impactful when using his legs this year, both when the pocket breaks down and by design. You notice his name sits near the top when looking at the league leaders in rushing yards by a quarterback. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up second down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, they certainly came out firing in this one, and while that one was incomplete, I can't imagine that'll be the last shot that they take in this game.
Pass taken in by his big tight end, and he is going to have down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
They'll run on first down. Levy. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. You talk about defense. This unit currently 7th in stopping the run.
This is a unit that understands what needs to be done to stop the run. And they're a team that goes out and executes as well. Yeah, it's the mantra, stop it, but then going out and getting it done. 2 different things. They combine them.
Here's 3rd and 9. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Looks like a second empty possession to start the game, and certainly not the way you want to start when you're coming off of a loss last week. Every team talks about starting fast. They're hoping on their next possession, it can be a delayed fast start and get them going.
Fielded at the 20. Found good room to run there. Returns at 14 yards. And taking over 1st and 10. It's led by their running back, headed out for the second possession. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And they are trying to create some separation within the division. And look, CD, I know that this is still the first. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. Touchdown. A great play there. 66 yards. And strike quickly to add on to their lead. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Point after, right down the middle. And that'll make the score 14-0. Well, I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. 1 play on the ground and into the end zone for 6.
And the returner down to a knee, and this will come out to the 30-yard line.
Set to take over on offense.
Yeah, they dipped a game below 500 following the loss last week, and you get the sense that maybe this team's at a little bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it, because what's that old malaprop? If you come to a fork in the road, take it. Because this crew, they're losing ground fast. They've got to start winning some ball games. And the good teams, they're starting to separate themselves, and these guys are being left behind.
And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big third down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have down as they're able to get the third down conversion. And we'll get a pause here. There appears to be shaken up on that last play.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Up the middle they go. Daniels. And a missed tackle there as he pushes forward for a gain of 4.
You talk about defense.
Yeah, they come into top 10 unit against the pass, currently 8th.
They absolutely have to avoid the penalties, have to walk that line between being aggressive and the ones that...
Sack, down he goes. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
Well, partners, the first quarter, too early to start talking about needing a comeback. They're down 2 touchdowns already, and that sack, that disrupts this drive. They need something to go right on offense, and they need it to happen soon.
How to approach this. 3rd down and 16 yards to go.
Operating from the gun.
Rushing. Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made. That was no 3rd and 2. That was 3rd and 16, but they get the conversion anyway.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49.
Multiple defenders getting home there for a loss of 11.
And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Looking to throw. Rushing. Oh, he's got a man wide open. Complete. Play number 9 set to come here on the drive on 3rd and 2. Back to throw. Rushing. That is caught.
And he is going to have down as this defense unable to hold. It's a 7-yard gain there on 3rd and 2.
Looking to throw. Rushing. And he's going to go down here. A sack. They push him back to the 34. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up 2nd.
He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure. And these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Back to throw. Rushing.
Oh, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Looking to throw. Rushing.
And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there. And now 4th down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
And this one is right down the middle. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3.
So that kick gives them their first points of the game, CD, and it comes on the third drive, but hopefully for them that's a spark that gets that offense going.
Yeah, and I would say if you're the offensive play caller, as you look at your sheet, you're trying to find that part on there that unlocks bigger points. They've struggled with a few drives so far, finally got 3 out of it. How do you find the end zone? That's what he's searching for now.
And not much doing on the return. Good coverage there. Going to stop him in his tracks at the 15-yard line.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And you see his numbers from a week ago. He was up over 100 yards then, and he's already hit pay dirt here once in this one.
We always talk about quarterbacks and receivers getting into rhythm, right? Really feeling good, finding each other downfield. I think running backs operate the same way. They can hit a good rhythm and a good stride, and he's carrying it over from last week.
So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play.
Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 there on the sack. Good pressure, and it's second down. They hand off to their big tight end. And from the 4, they get it to the 8 on a pickup of 4. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. They'll wind up losing a couple yards here on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
I think that call was made not so much to try and get the first down, although they would have taken it if they could have gotten it, but to give their punter a little bit of space and try and help out their defense.
Yeah, got the safe completion on 3rd. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. It's fielded at the 45. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. Over now, 1st and 10. Aaron ready to begin their next drive. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
Yeah, maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see.
After one, a 14-3 ball game. Ball to start quarter number 2. 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 10.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
And they'll go ahead and down this one right on.
Take over on offense. They're in the driver's seat right now, and they were winners last week over the Seattle Seahawks, so trying to keep that momentum moving in the positive direction.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. Back to throw. Moore. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds.
Here comes 3rd and the length of the football.
They run the counter. Buckley. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
3-1 3-1 here through their first 4 games, and they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Now they'll throw here out of the gun.
And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
The touch and time are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. This is taken at the 18.
Following the punt return here, there is someone shaken up. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. They'll keep it on the ground. Levy, and he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard. Looking to throw. Rushing. Being chased out left. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
Nice call on defense, rolling out the nickel package for that big 3rd down play, and they did an excellent job locking down coverage and forcing him to try and run for it, and he doesn't get there, which brings up a big 4th down call.
Here now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And he fields it cleanly. It's a net of 40 there. Punt of 48 and a return of 8.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Atlanta now coming out on the field.
No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts.
Now Moore throwing to start the drive. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Ford. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Off the bootleg. Moore.
The throw here right sideline falls incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10.
Back to throw. Moore. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory even if they don't get it, though. Now a handoff up the middle. Buckley. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
2nd and 11. Looking for Murphy, and he finds him complete. And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an field. 7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Looking to throw. More.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have it. And he's going to have it by plenty. Able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. They'll send the big tight end in motion right. On 1st down, Buckley. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down.
Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
So out now comes the field goal unit for this from 42 yards out. And his kick is good. And they will stretch the lead now to 17-3.
So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
Taken at the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19.
And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an field.
So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside.
Aaron ready to begin their next drive.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Third down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 2. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
And he is going to have down and comfortably so as he gets 5 there on 3rd and a yard.
Now a give, right side. It's Daniels. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here, 2nd down.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
They're throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Rushing. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Flowers.
And he is going to have down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a big conversion there on 3rd down because they did not want to give the ball up here late in the half. They'd love to take the clock all the way down and score. This will definitely help the cause.
A pair of 1st downs gives them a 1st and 10 up at the 44. Operating from the gun. Rushing. Pressure brought in. For the sack. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Operating from the gun. Rushing. And his pass incomplete.
Well, that play was certainly a little bit different because on the previous play he was sacked. This time, protection a lot better. Had time to survey the field and still couldn't find an open receiver.
Going down the middle, and it's complete. And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made at the 8-yard line. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
And that one too wide and incomplete.
Yeah, their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
And he comes back with one complete. Now is the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. Is the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. That's the signal for their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward.
To the sideline and incomplete.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
And it's caught. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. A 4-yard pickup, not enough. Fourth down. They'll try and run for it. And not only will he not get in, he's going to lose yardage. They stuff him back at the 4. They stop him up short on 4th and goal from the 1. And muster together a goal line stand. A chance to get some momentum here in the second quarter, getting their first trip into the red zone, but unable to get it across.
And if I'm the head coach, sure, you feel some disappointment, maybe a little bit of deflation there because you didn't get it in, but I'm going straight to rah-rah mode. All right, guys, we didn't get it this time. It's only the second quarter. We'll be back. Let's get it later on. I want to keep this team up. I don't want them to feel like they've let everyone down.
Positive.
Got to be positive in this situation. It's too early to think that you don't have a chance to win this game.
So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman.
The highlights are fairly one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference here at the break, but I wouldn't call this one over just yet. I think there could still be some fireworks yet to come.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. 17-3 the score as we resume action for the second half.
A couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And not what he was hoping for when he brought it out. They're going to get him down short of the 15-yard line.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Now flags come flying in. Early.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
The false start hurts him there a bit. Backs him up to 2nd and 9. Looking to throw. Moore. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Not a huge play, but I think they're more than happy with how it turned out. Don't be surprised to see them revisit that call because there was a lane there for more than just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. Just his second catch of the game so far.
Plenty of shouts from this crowd as they watch the replay. They want a challenge, and they're going to get one. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass.
They'll run on first down. Buckley, and he's going to get this one down to the 45. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. Back to throw. Moore. He finds his man. Complete. It's 4th. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the 4-yard line. Now a give, right side. Buckley. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains. Back to throw now on first down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
Second and a couple.
Up the middle they go. Buckley. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up first and goal.
Here's a handoff out of the gun.
And finding room to work, he's down to the 2-yard line.
55 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Good yardage on first down. Now can they punch it in on second and goal? In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. They'll wind up losing 10 there, a full 10 yards, so that one hurts. And it brings up third and goal.
When you're this close to the goal line, you got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on third and goal? Looking to throw. Moore. And it'll be intercepted.
And take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line.
So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
Austin's offense ready to go again. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. Aaron ready to begin their next drive. Now they just got a little help from their defense forcing the turnover. Now can they make that pay off in points?
They need to, partner. They're down on the scoreboard. Need to take advantage of those opportunities, and this is a good one right in front of them.
2nd and 9 now from the 21. Back to throw. Rushing. That is incomplete.
We've got to give out a little applause on that play. It has to go to the defense. More good work by them.
They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the first row.
Well, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted.
And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
The one side gets an interception, but their defense comes on the field and picks them right back up by getting a pick of their own.
And I think you saw the same thing that I did, Brandon. As he ran off the field after making that play, we saw his quarterback seek him out and offer a personal thank you to bail him out a little bit as the offense takes the field again.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here.
And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10.
Moore now throwing to start the drive.
And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. He couldn't get away there on 3rd down. The pressure too much, and he's sacked for a loss of 12.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
And his kick is absolutely perfect.
So that, Charles, a season long, and since he's a rookie, I guess we can go ahead and call that a career long as well.
I love how you put that together because, you know, so everyone at home was saying, okay, has to be career, right, since he's a rookie. Well done by you, but I definitely like what I've seen from him so far this year. Very distinguished college career. He's looking right at home here.
They get set to come back onto the field.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. He finds his man complete. It's Daniels. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. So it goes as a completed pass, but they lose a full 5 yards. Operating from the gun. Rushing. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Looks like another empty possession offensively. And you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And taken right on the 30. That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Looking to throw. Moore. And that is incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. This is taken at about the 14. It'll be a 47-yard punt with a net of 40 following a 7-yard return. And it will be 1st and 10. Austin's offense ready to go again. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Back to throw. Rushing. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that's going to bring up 2nd down. Operating from the gun. Rushing. That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Here's now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Three quarters have come and gone. In Austin. They've got the football, they've got the lead as we get set to start. Out set to begin their next drive. It's at the line. Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the 4th quarter, Charles, but you got the football, you're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge on, fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 9. Looking to throw. Moore. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll be stopped short of the 1st down as they rally to tackle him at about the 28. That'll give them 8 that time. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Out their punter as he's on here to punt it away. Taken in at the 22. Following the punt return here, there is someone shaken up. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Aaron ready to begin their next drive. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. Sack, down he goes. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down.
Well, partner, you and I will be headed to the airport, but after this game, when it's interview time, someone's going to ask this quarterback what hurt worse, the interceptions or the sacks. His whole day, it's been rough. Barring a miraculous comeback, this offense isn't going to win this game, but he's probably going to say what hurt most is the loss. They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this 2nd half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
And this almost intercepted. Not sure he saw the free safety that time, but lucky, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down. Here's now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away.
It's taken to the 26. So possession goes over here on the punt.
And it will.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. They've got a chance now to put this game away following that last defensive stop and punt.
We'll get this to about the 38.
And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Here is 3rd down and 4.
They'll keep it on the ground. Buckley, and he won't get close. Only a yard, 4th and 3.
But this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stopped them for almost no gain.
Out their punter as he's on for the 5th time here today. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Now onto the field here comes. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
In need of only about the length of the football here on 2nd down.
Operating from the gun.
Rushing. A quick throw there is incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
From the gun on 3rd down. Rushing. Smith catches left side.
And he is going to have down as he's able to get about 3 that time on 3rd and inches.
Back to throw again. This is Smith with a grab. And out across midfield down to the 45. They'll look to throw again.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. He finds his man, complete. It's Schmidt. And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made at the 4-yard line. Back to throw. Rushing. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Looking to throw. Rushing. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. 9th play of the drive now on 3rd and a country mile. Back to throw. Rushing. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Into a sea of defenders and intercepted. And get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on 4th down. Well, I guess an interception at this point on 4th down is just as bad as an incomplete pass. Either way, the ball goes over to the other side.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in this late in the game, and there's not a whole lot he could do there, and he winds up giving the ball away.
Atlanta regains possession of the football. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
76 yards rushing for him now as he's toted it 21 times. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Second down and 3. Now a handoff up the middle. Crane, and he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. This offensive line starting to win up front. You win that battle in the trenches, you can kind of wear them down here late.
So you bring in the second part to that equation, and that's the big running back, the big bruiser, who can get more than what's blocked and break a few extra tackles and gain yardage.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11. They'll keep it on the ground. Buckley. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. 8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3. Up the middle they go. Crane. And some space here. And he is finally going to be brought down, but not before he gets it to 9. Well, they only needed a small gain on 3rd down. They end up getting over 30 yards. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what we said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3 and out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
They've been in the red zone 3 times in this game and have not scored a single point. Can they break through here on 2nd and goal? They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And a little bit of space there takes it inside the 5 to the 3.
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal.
Looking to throw. Moore.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. Aaron ready to begin their next drive. Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Throw left side complete. That's Smith. And they work this well upfield across the 45. They'll look to throw now on first down. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's third down. Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. And that is incomplete. Oh, he did everything but hold on to it. But a nice play defensively, and now it brings up 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Open man is Flowers. He's got it. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Back to throw. Rushing. Now that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Over the middle, complete. That's Schmidt. And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made at the 18-yard line. Operating from the gun. Rushing. He's got it for a great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively there, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none.
It's in their running back getting ready to go back to work. And he has put in a full game's work and then some. Just an incredible performance on the ground to this point in the 4th quarter.
Use the second of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play. You'd have to think likely another running play coming here. 2nd and 11.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
For their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. Victory formation as they take a knee.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right? Just us against the world and get it done. How happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. So time. And this coaching staff, CD, I think you'd agree, pleased with this overall effort.
Oh, I think they're more than pleased, right? They've got to look at each other like, wow, we just pulled this one off in a big way. Great job of motivating, even better job of game planning. They were facing a top 10 defense, so they had to make sure that everything was buttoned down and they had it ready to go, and their guys executed.
Yeah, they were concerned not only about moving the ball through the air, but also really started to come in sync. So for Atlanta, they boost their record up to a strong 4-1, and they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, they can't quite seem to turn things around as they fall into 2-4 now on the year. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Seahawks in Seattle. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is